Ladies and gentlemen, the SUSE and Rancher community proudly presents Front Row at KubeCon.
Hello and welcome to Front Row at KubeCon. My name is Robert Serchia, and we're here live at the Rancher booth at KubeCon Los Angeles, and I am joined by my esteemed colleague, Andrew Gracie from Product. Andrew, welcome.
Hello.
How's this virtual, in-person conference treating you? This is our first one back, right?
It is, yeah. In what, 2 years? I think we were in San Diego 2 years ago.
Yeah. And going well for you so far?
Yeah, it's been a good conference.
Now, you deal with a lot of our projects and products, but one we want to talk about today is Rancher Desktop. Now, I have talked about this extensively in our community. I tweet about it constantly, but for you out there who don't know, Andrew, you want to tell us a little bit about what the project is?
Yeah, so Rancher Desktop is really our take on having an alternative to Docker Desktop. Originally, it was very focused on Kubernetes on your desktop, so we really wanted to be able to give an easy way for just a standard person to be able to have a Kubernetes for them to use, to be able to deploy their applications, to be able to develop their applications and kind of get a feel for what Kubernetes is. And then more recently, we've actually started adding some features around actually being able to give you some container D integrations, specifically with nerdy control, so you can actually build and run containers outside of Kubernetes as well. That gives you just a whole lot more flexibility on what you can build and run. And so instead of having to actually know everything about Kubernetes, you can still do the development that you need to locally without having to learn how to set everything up yourself, which can be a bit daunting to somebody.
Sure.
Honestly, even if you know what you're doing, it's still a bit daunting.
And we had a big release this week. You want to tell us a little about the 0.6 release?
Yeah, so on Monday we released a 0.6, like you said. In that, we actually introduced a Linux binary, both the RPM and a dev file, so that you can actually install Rancher Desktop onto Linux, as well as we also have Windows and Mac. We're using a project that we're actually developing upstream as well, called Lima. A couple of our engineers are working on that. Fantastic engineers working on that. That we were originally, it's Linux on Mac, but we realized that we can actually run that, we can use the same piece for Linux as well to make it a very kind of one-to-one replacement as well.
Awesome, that's actually really good news. Now, the target audience for Rancher Desktop would be who?
Developers is one target audience, but also operators who want to be able to play around with Kubernetes locally without having to spin up new hardware, right? So really anybody who's working on containers and wants to do it on their desktop, I think that we have a solution for them.
This is a feature-rich project right now. What is one of your favorite features?
So this is not a feature, but honestly, just the fact that it just works, right? So I typically run Windows with WSL, and the fact that I can install Rancher Desktop and I can pick which Kubernetes version I want to use, and be able to get that version right there and have it integrated into my WSL itself. And so I can just kind of run a kubectl at whatever time I want. And blow it away, right? That just the fact that it just works. I don't have to do any setup. I don't have to do any maintenance. I don't have to run my own VMs.
You're just focused on your app itself,
exactly.
And you're not focused on the infrastructure.
I don't have to care about the Kubernetes layer,
nice.
right?
Nice. Well, Andrew, thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of the conference. I'm sure I'll be talking to you later today.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Thanks, Andrew.
Cool. Bye.